There you go, there's a homemade video on a 959. That's a phrase I thought I'd never say. Strange times. But back at the Frankfurt Motor Show in 1983, Porsche unveiled the Gruppe B concept. It looked like a 935 that had been sat too close to a fire, and it was intended to compete within the wide-ranging Group B racing category. To do so, Porsche had to build 200 road cars. This is one of the original 292 cars that were built in total between 85 and 88. It's being unloaded into a Welsh car park so I can drive it. I have to thank Richard Tuthill for that. This was the most advanced road car ever seen in 1985, and it cost $225,000 even then. I liked seeing how people respond to cars, so I stood and watched them admire this tiny, pretty machine. Then these two young lads popped up. When were you born?
2006.
You have to talk close to me because there's a microphone there. 2006, so this is 20 years older than you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's amazing. Honestly, 450 horsepower, and it's sexy, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Is that?
And the way that spoiler's just built in with the car.
Welsh is the most musical of the English dialects, and the way they say spoiler is especially good. Anyhow, on with the home movie. First of all, from the back, look at the negative space when you go down here. That spoiler just almost like it's carved out of the bodywork. What a thing. Now let's walk around. Those wheels, revolutionary because they have the tyre pressure monitoring sensors in them, like 30 years before anyone else. It's even got Bridgestone REs on it, this one. Look at this, it's stunning. Absolutely stunning. Now, pop inside. First of all, you get the great Porsche sports seat with the huge bolsters. The thing I love about these cabins is it's all visually very 911, but with little tweaks. So let's show you some tweaks. I'm going to get in because it's so cold here. Isn't it beautiful here today? Isn't it beautiful here today? So first of all, let's look at the dashboard. Well, let's look at the steering wheel, shall we? So you get 959 on the steering wheel. It's a 928 style steering wheel, or early 964 steering wheel I like. From the left, fuel gauge, water temperature gauge. That shouldn't be there, should it? Water temp gauge because it's got water cooled heads. Then you've got your oil temperature, you've got your oil pressure, a speedometer with boost that revs much higher than any 911 did at the time. This thing loves to rev. Then you've got your speedometer that goes to 340, 350, look at that. Then you've got your torque splits. So it's a dial pack unlike any other Porsche. Top of the dash looks very 911. Top of the dash, then you come down here. Climate control, very 911. Then you come down here. I love this bit. So you've got this sort of centre console here, raised up, electronic dampers there. And you've got your suspension up and down there. Absolutely fantastic. And then these two big warning lights at the top that really are in your eye line. This here is a little siren speaker, an audible warning for any problems. So you get a big shriek from that. Beautiful carpets. It's a really high quality item, this. That's a leather top dash. I mean, I'm so excited I'm going to get selfie mode. That's me excited in selfie mode. I just love this car. It's got everything. It's technology, it's got history. I think it's become even more beautiful than it was at the start. Oh, and it goes so well. It goes so well. So well. Let's have a little go on the road just to remind ourselves how well it goes. This was the most aerodynamically advanced car ever made. It had zero lift and a drag coefficient of 0.31. The wheels have hollow spokes and are made from titanium and had the first pressure monitoring tech. Those mirrors look a bit odd from that angle, but spot on most of the time. That's a dog. Now, I've been doing this for a while, but yes, that was a non-deliberate wiper action. On the road, she's a doozy. It's a car from 40 years ago, so it rides beautifully. Honestly, gear shift is mechanical, much nicer than any 911 gear shift from the era. Okay, she's a bit laggy, and steering wheel's huge, but I quite like that. Steering's got great feel. It feels more sort of, it's a front bias four-wheel drive system. It doesn't feel rear-wheel drive at all when you come out of a turn. It's dragging you out rather than pushing you out, if you know what I mean. But what is really surprising, and I think many people can learn from now, is the characteristic of the engine. I said it loves to row on torque, it does, but it offers you something at the top end. There's something going on beyond 6,000 RPM. I don't know if it's a cam profile or whatever it is, but it really gets going. It really, really gets going. And at that point, you're thinking, this is spectacular. The clever people bought these things 15 years ago because they just fell off a cliff. I'll just do a UE. Okay, yeah. Right. So the clever people bought these a while ago because they just died in value, but rightly so. People now realise it's a special car. It ticks all the boxes. It looks fantastic, it drives fantastic, it's got history, and there's not many of them. I mean, wow. Yeah, I'm smitten. I'm totally smitten by this. I didn't realise it would be this good. There are good ones and bad ones. This is a good one. I've driven a couple of bad ones, and they were a bit, oh my God, it just feels like a shit 993. This is not the case at all. Honestly, it just, you jump in it and drive to the south of France now. It's got a great heater, good hi-fi. Whoa. Yeah, I'm having a bit of a moment here. It's another one of those days when I wish I'd actually made some money. Whoa. Yeah, special car. Bucket list. There you go, there's a homemade video on a 959. That's a phrase I thought I'd never say. Being a Porsche, the 959, so it's really 959, has an acronym for its four-wheel drive system, PSK, Porsche Steuerkupplung. It can send as much as 80% power and torque to the rear wheels, and that's why, with its supple suspension, you always see the car squat at the rear under hard acceleration. The engine must have seemed otherworldly in 1985. 2.85 litres, sequential intercooled turbochargers, and 450 horsepower. The car weighs 1,450 kilograms. It has twin dampers at each corner, ABS brakes, and adjustable ride height. Claimed top speed was 197 miles per hour, and Automotive and Sport managed 0 to 62 miles an hour in 3.7 seconds. Famously, it won the Paris-Dakar Rally and, as the 961, raced at Le Mans. Now, Landau in Wales isn't Le Mans, but I love it. So I took the 959 there on a trailer once more. This is actually a shot of it being loaded on in reverse, and the audio has gone so weird it now sounds like I'm Sorry Miss Jackson by Outkast. Home video on a Porsche 959. Why? Because it's January and the news is mostly shite. We're skint, we've got no future, the NHS is broken. So get out and drive a 959, make yourself feel better. I know that isn't open to many people, but I'm going to take advantage of it. These things are sensational motor cars. Think of the tech in this car. 450 horsepower, four-wheel drive, self-leveling suspension, tyre pressure monitor sensors in the wheels in 1985. A Cavalier SRI with 115 horsepower was a weapon back then. This had 450. It was the king of the road. All conditions, wouldn't quite do 200. How does it feel today? Well, it feels quite old. It feels intimate and small, and it does go. There's the second turbo cutting in. So sequential turbochargers in these. There she goes. And then the engine note just deepens a bit and you get that sort of 962-y sound. What a thing this was. Tell you what I love about this car, it's the ambition. Ferrari made the F40. Don't get me wrong, the F40 is one of the greatest road cars ever made, but it is essentially a go-kart. It's a tubular steel frame with a massive engine put in it and Pininfarina's genius draped all over it. This is a technology statement. So much of what this car did appeared in later cars. Look at a 993 Turbo S, about 450 horsepower, four-wheel drive. So 10 years later, everything that appears in these Porsche special cars seems to percolate down into the ordinary stuff. I love these. How good does it look from the outside? I know the proportions are crazy. I know at the time people went mad for them. They didn't sell many. It's now worth a lot of money, and the white ones are faster. Boost. There she goes. Still a fast car now. Oh, stops well, steering's gorgeous. Just imagine if you could just daily a 959. I think if I won the lottery, that's what I'd do. I'd just daily a 959. Stick it out on the street, underseal it. I'd call it the dog car. We'd just go and walk the dog up on the downs in Bristol, get back in the 959. What I love about it, it's so approachable. This interior, well, I'll do a nerdy home video look into it now, but I love the fact that it's so obviously 911, but with little special trinkets added to it. Yeah, you can tell I quite like these things. Goes really well now. How fast is it? I'd say it sort of doesn't feel, it feels about 450 quick actually. Now if you came across a sort of a sprightly BMW M2 in this, you'd stay with it. From 1985, that is impressive.
It's fast as hell.
Cool little thing.
That's incredible.
Cool little thing, isn't it?
That second turbo on that straight
Yeah.
there, that absolutely took me so by surprise. Right, we're done.
Now I agonised how to end this film. Should it be the glorious Brecon Beacons static? Or that rear shot nudging the curve? Or the front slide? Perhaps the rear slide? But really, there's only one lasting image of the 959. It's the red test car, Walter Rall, the 1,000-yard hint of oversteer stare, the left rear wheel tucked into the wheel arch. This is why I love the 959.